Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video series I'll be taking you through all the rules you need to know to play Warhammer Underworlds. In part 1 we covered the introduction, warbands and fighter cards, but now it's time to move on to part 2 where we'll look at the decks, which will include our objective cards, upgrade cards and Gambit cards. Each player uses 2 decks of cards to play a game of Warhammer Underworlds. The first is an objective deck made up of 12 objective cards. The next is a power deck, and this is made up of at least 20 cards, and these 20 cards are a mix of upgrade cards and Gambit cards. You can choose which cards go into each deck, and this is an important and strategic part of the game. It's really important to note though that you cannot look at the cards in your opponent's deck. For your first game, it's recommended that each player uses the pre-constructed decks that are included in the core set. There's an objective deck and a power deck for both Miyari Purifiers and for the Dread Pageant. The core set also includes extra cards that can be used by either warband. These are called universal cards. Once you're familiar with the rules, you can experiment with customizing your decks, allowing you to try different strategies in your game. Let's talk a little bit about deck building. Deck building is a significant part of Warhammer Underworlds, but it can be a bit challenging until you've played a few games and are familiar with how everything works. When you're ready to start building your own decks, there are a few restrictions that we've got to look at, so let's take a look at those now. The first is that the power deck must include at least 20 power cards. It can include any number of additional power cards. No more than half of the deck can be Gambit cards. The next restriction is that the objective deck must include exactly 12 objective cards. It cannot include more than 6 surge objectives. And don't worry about all these terms and specific cards, because we're going to cover all this as we work through this video and future videos. The next restriction is that neither deck can include more than 1 card with the same name. Each card in the decks must be unique. And the final restriction is that you can only include cards that have the same warband symbol as your fighter cards or have the universal symbol. Once we've worked through this rule series, I'll do some specific videos on deck building, just showing you how to put together some decks, some tips and tricks and some ideas that you might want to incorporate into your game. But for now, that's all we really need to know about deck building. So let's move on and start looking at the cards in detail, and now we'll look at the objective card, the upgrade card and the Gambit cards. Let's start with the objective cards. Objective cards give you ways to gain glory points. They have a glory point symbol in the top left corner, and each objective card has a name and 1 or more conditions. If you meet the conditions on the card, you gain the number of glory points shown at the bottom of the card. The symbol in the top right corner tells you which warbands can use the card. If it is the universal symbol, then any warband can use the card. If it is a warband symbol, only that warband can use the card. Some objective cards have a keyword as well as a name, and these objective cards have additional rules that we'll cover later on. Some objective cards have 1 or more of the symbols that you can see here. These symbols are only used in multiplayer games, so ignore them and the text next to them if you're playing a 2-player game. Now let's take a look at the upgrade cards. Upgrade cards are used to improve your fighters. They have a cogwheel symbol in the top left corner, and each upgrade card has a name and an effect, which could be to boost 1 or more of a fighter's characteristics. Some upgrade cards also have a keyword below their name. As with objective cards, the symbol in the top right corner tells you which warbands can use the card. Some upgrade cards also have restrictions, and we'll take a look at those in a second. Next, we need to look at Gambit Cards. Gambit Cards have many uses. They are either ploys or spells. This card here is a spell, and spell cards have a spell symbol in the top left corner. This one is a ploy card, and ploy cards instead have a dagger symbol as shown in the corner here. Each Gambit card has a name and an effect, which is usually short-lived. It might be to allow a player to make an extra move action, for example. Some Gambit cards also have a keyword below their name. As with objective cards, the symbol in the top right corner tells you which warbands can include the card in their deck, and some Gambit cards have restrictions in the same way as upgrade cards. You will get a chance to play these cards in the power step that follows each of a player's activations, and again we're going to cover this in a later video. Now we've seen the cards, let's take a quick look at the restrictions. Upgrade and Gambit cards may have restrictions. On an upgrade card, these tell you which fighters can be upgraded with this card, while on a Gambit card they indicate a fighter you must have on the battlefield if you wish to play that card. The restrictions can be one or more fighter names, or instead will list a crown symbol, a wand symbol, and or one or more keywords indicating respectively a leader, a wizard, and or a fighter with at least one of those keywords. Now we've looked at the restrictions, we also need to take a look at just a few additional card rules. So let's do that now, starting with keywords. Some cards have keywords on them. These words are in bold type and are used in two ways. Some of them are used to refer to a rule found in the rulebook, in which case you can quickly find the relevant rule by checking the glossary that we'll cover later on and that you'll find at the back of the book. Other keywords are used to label that card so that other cards can interact with it. For example, an upgrade card that has Hunter in the restrictions box can only be given to a fighter with the Hunter keyword. You'll also see the word cannot written on a lot of the cards. If two or more rules come into conflict and one of them says cannot, that rule takes precedence. For example, if a fighter has a rule that says they cannot be pushed, a card that lets you push a fighter does not work on that fighter. Some cards allow you to do things that you wouldn't normally be allowed to do by the rules in the rulebook. Whenever a card contradicts the rules in the rulebook, the card takes precedence, even if the rule in the book says cannot. The final note to make is about abilities, and rules found on a fighter card or power card are all referred to as abilities. When you start collecting Underworlds, and even games like Warcry, you're going to get lots of cards and you'll be handling them often. So I'd recommend getting some kind of card protectors just to keep them safe. And I've done a video on this where you can find out all about the Dragon Shield Clear Classic card protectors and deck boxes, which are perfect to keep all your cards safe. That covers the rules we need to know for the decks, so now come and join me for the next part in this series where we'll look at the boards, and these boards make up the battlefield we'll need to play the game. If you'd like to pick up your own copy of Warhammer Underworld's Diachasm, then I'll put a link in the description below and that'll take you to Element Games. And the RRP on this game is £50, but at Element Games with that link you can save up to 20%, and at the moment it's currently on sale for £42.50. So that's an affiliate link, but it won't cost you anything extra. In fact, you're going to save that money, and for every sale made through that link I get a small commission, and that helps me do loads more videos like this. So thanks so much for that support, I really appreciate it. You can also find Beastgrave, and this game is still available, and this core set is really great. It's got some awesome miniatures in there and is certainly a great alternative to Diachasm, so you've got a couple of options, and I'll put a link in the description for that too. If you like this content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page. And thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description and it'll be great to see you there. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you'll come and join me for the next video in this series. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.